This week's episode of I Was a Teenage Film Snob is not brought to you by protein bars, crunches, or push-ups. Welcome to I Was a Teenage Film Snob. I'm James Chalmers, your friendly neighborhood film snob. And guys, it's a solo show, which means I'm speaking one-on-one with someone. But it's not someone from the industry this week. I'm actually really excited because for the first time in what feels like ages, we've gone back to classic episode. We're doing a top 5 list, and I'm really excited about that. I haven't done a top 5 list in a long time. We're going back to basics, and I've got a really wonderful guest. It's kind of insane how we met because this girl, she's in my backyard. She's in Australia. I should have met her naturally through the podcast, but it took an American guest to introduce us. Our good friend R. Jacob Honeybrook, the author, if you remember him. She was a friend of his, and through some clips that I posted of him, I started talking with her, and she's so much fun, man. She's going to be great. You're going to love her. She runs a bookstagram. Honey Bookish Bits. You can look out for that one. We'll talk about that a little bit. She's a horror fan, a movie fan, and also just a blast to talk with. We've only met a few weeks ago, and I feel like we haven't stopped talking. So hopefully you dig her. I'm a big fan of her. Please welcome from Honey Bookish Bits. It's Honey. Hey, Honey.
Hey, James.
How you
hey,
doing?
Everyone. Good. Thanks for having me.
Not a problem at all. For those listening, Honey is recording from her closet. So I'm just looking at all of her puffy jackets. It's quite a wild collection. It's insane that we've both been online for as long as we have, and we didn't cross paths naturally. We had to meet through an American.
Yes.
That was really funny because I posted a clip of Roy when he was on the show, and thank God he's got a following because all these people started like flooding to the videos, and you were one of them. You were commenting, and anyone who likes or comments, I was like immediate follow because that way I can build my audience and stuff like that. And then we just started talking, and it took a long time, longer than it should have, for us to both realize we're both not only in Australia but maybe an hour from each other.
Exactly, and it took you recommending Reading Cinemas to me, the membership, for me to know that you actually live in Australia. In Melbourne.
That was the thing. Yeah, I think I'd figured out that you were somewhere in Australia, and you were talking about going to the movies. And I'll go to any cinema, but I love a bargain. Movie ticket prices are expensive. Like they're going up. So if I can save some money, this is not an ad. Although if Reading would like to sponsor the podcast, they're welcome to. But I was like, dude, I know we barely know each other, but if you're trying to get to the movies, you want to save some money, Reading just got this new rewards program and you get 15% off. I guess this is an ad for Reading. Reading, please call me. And I think we bonded over, was it Sinners? Was that the first thing we started talking about? Which was a revelation for you. You're like, oh my God, this is amazing. I'm sure people listening probably know you. We probably have a bit of crossover in audience. But I became a really big fan of your in-car reviews, where you just kind of get in the car after watching a movie, or you'll sit in the closet after reading a book, and you've just got such a candor about you. Like there's no censorship. You're like, right, this is what I liked, this is what I hated.
Yep.
And I really like it. Like there's no what am I trying to say? There's no performance. Like there's no kind of facade. Like I was like, oh, this is who Honey is. And I really enjoy that. So I'm glad we got to kind of bond and catch up. And now, after we know each other a few weeks, you're on the show. This might be the quickest I've met someone and brought them on the show. So that's kind of fun.
Yes, I was a little bit nervous, but, people have just said to me, look, just talk to James like he's your best mate. And
really?
We are friends.
Who told you that?
Lily.
Oh, really? That's so funny because I haven't met Lily. Like we've talked on Instagram, but I haven't spoken to her. But good advice.
Yeah. Lily's lovely.
She's coming on the show as well. And like I know her, I've spoken to her even less than I've spoken to you. But I was saying before we started recording, I'm just trying this thing where I'm putting myself out there and just trying to get past my own social anxiety and introvertedness and try and talk to more people about movies and stuff like that. So yeah, she'll be on. I don't know when, but I think she's recording in July, maybe.
You said 21st of June, I think.
Maybe. I'm booked. It's so funny. I've talked about this a little bit on the show, but I recently enlisted 2 co-hosts because while I was overseas last year, it just got really hard to maintain the podcast. I was like, oh man, I'm burning out and I don't want to stop loving it. So if I can get some people on board to help out, it'll take pressure off and it'll be a lighter workload. I've never been busier. I have
That's so
interviews
good.
every week. Every week I'm interviewing someone else.
That's amazing.
It's great. It's so much fun. But I definitely there's a moment you were talking to me and you know what? I miss it when I had less than 1,000 followers. And I'm like, I kind of get it.
Yes.
So let's talk about you've got your own. So you got a bookstagram, as the kids call it.
Mm-hmm.
I just remembered the part of my introduction I was going to do, and I'll make a joke. But anyway, that's fine. Because I don't write my introductions down; I make them up on the spot. But I was going to refer to you as ripped AF, as the kids say, because you're a big gym junkie.
Yes.
But anyway, that's the funny thing. You're online. Generally, when you wake up is when I go to sleep normally. So I'm
Yes.
like, honey's up. She's gone to the gym. Well, time for me to hit the hay. You got a bookstagram. How long you been doing
that? 2 years this year.
Nice one. And I've only watched a few of them. I'm a little bit out of the loop with bookstagram because I don't do as much reading as I should. I always feel like I should be reading more. Having a kid will definitely impact how much you read, unless you include children's books, in which case I've read hundreds of books this year.
Yes, and you need to count them.
Yeah, I should start a list.
Yep.
And do you primarily read and review horror? Is it a variety of genres? What kind of got you into it?
So initially, when I started my bookstagram, I was reading anywhere from fantasy to romance. I started with the Sarah J. Maas series, like the Throne of Glass, and then the Court of Thorns and Roses, or whatever it is.
Okay.
And then I'm just like, nah. I did it just didn't resonate with me, because the reason why I read horror, it's because if I'm going through something really bad, when I read a horror book, I'm like, nah, my problems ain't as bad as what I'm reading.
It is quite therapeutic.
It is. It is very therapeutic, because when I'm reading extreme horror and I read a particular line, I actually get grossed out and I have all these different feelings. All the emotions come across on my face, and everyone's like, honey's thinking about something, or she's reading something completely gross. But yeah, we'll leave her alone. So I read a lot at work.
Yeah, I used to do that as well. When I went into the office, I would bring books. That's how I read through a big chunk of the Stephen King library. But as I haven't read a little bit in a while. So when you say extreme horror, because obviously as a film fan, I'm very familiar with the extreme horror genre. It's quite visceral. I don't think I've ever read that would fall. I don't think I've ever read anything that would fall under the extreme horror genre. So is it basically as gnarly as the films? Are they? This is a weird question, but are they allowed to write that? Because I know certain books get censored, or I know American Psycho, when you buy it, it comes sealed because of the content. So,
mine was sealed.
Yeah. Oh wow.
Yes. So it was really good. Yeah. So to answer your question, the extreme horror that I read is more like splatterpunk horror that you don't need to think about when you're writing it.
Nice.
Like Christopher Triana.
Okay.
Top-notch extreme horror. John Athan, another one. Who else? Judith Sonnet, another extreme horror. But yeah, they're just really good, really fast-paced, and they're short.
Nice.
They're short, yeah.
Nice, very cool. Yeah, I need to get back into. I would love to do more reading. I think the last thing I read was one of Roy's books. I read When We Once Loved, and I actually read it before I interviewed him. And that was quite short and really well done. But that wouldn't fall under extreme horror. That was more like a romance horror.
Romance.
And then previously, I don't know if you know Sam Tennell. She goes by Maiden Macabre on Instagram.
No.
Okay, she released a collection of shorts. She's been on the show. She was on the show about a year ago before she'd published her book, but she did a collection of short horror stories that she wrote, and they're very kind of well, I don't think she would mind me saying this. She's been very vocal about it, but she's sober, so she's kind of had some substance abuse issues when she was younger, and she wrote these kind of psychological short stories based on her dealings with substances and how she recovered from it and stuff like that. And it's pretty dark. I'll say pretty dark. I'll send you a link after we've recorded so you can check her out. She's great. She's a big horror fan as well. She's really fun. All right, cool. I've got to get back into it. I think the only horror author I'm familiar with recently is it Adam Cesar, who did the Clown in a Cornfield
Yes.
book, which I haven't
Pretty
read, but
average,
okay.
average book.
Yep.
I thought it was going to be a very good book, like 5 stars. Like it was getting there, and then the ending kind of brought the whole average down to
Okay.
about 3.5, 4. I haven't seen the movie,
Okay.
but they said the movie pretty much doesn't do the book justice because some of the bits from the book are not reflected in the movie. And
Okay.
I was like, okay.
That's pretty common. Like I can't think of many books, many movies based on books where I'm like, oh my god, they nailed it. Like because there's just so much that they have to cut
Except
out.
The Exorcist.
I haven't read The Exorcist, but I
I
love.
have.
Okay,
I didn't like.
I have.
I did not like it. I did a buddy read with my best mate in London. Her
Okay.
name's Kiki.
Okay.
Her handle is Mama reads and reviews. So she's like my best mate on.
Oh, you shared something of hers recently. I think. I think I saw
Yeah.
that maybe earlier today.
Yes. So we both did the buddy read, and it wasn't as exciting as the movie.
Yeah, that movie's pretty incredible. I was just on the Midnight Terrors podcast with Roy. We're going to name drop Roy so much tonight.
Yes.
Yes. And we were talking about The Exorcist 3. That's why I came on to talk about that movie. And we talked about the original one quite a bit, and he mentioned he'd read the book. Or maybe Kevin had, I can't remember. I was acting a fool on that episode. When I guest on podcasts, I'm like way more relaxed. I'm just like an idiot for 2 hours. I derailed that conversation so much, but yeah, they talked about the book. He really liked the book, but you're saying it's a bit slow and not as good as the movie. Well, that's okay. I don't mind. I like it when the movie's better than the book. It's rare, so you know.
Yep.
Clown in the Cornfield, I liked. You know, I knew nothing about it going in. I liked the trailer. It felt fun and silly, so I was like, yeah, I'm looking forward to the return of the scary clown. We haven't really had many for a while. Like Art the Clown has been around for a couple of years now, and he's fun. But there's room for more, and I really like that trailer. And yeah, there were a couple of predictable bits. Like I predicted the twist, like what was going on, like who was doing the killing. I kind of
Yep.
I'm trying to dance around spoilers for those who haven't seen it. I kind of figured that.
Do tell, because I'm not going to go watch it. Tell me.
Spoilers for anyone listening who hasn't seen Clown in the Cornfield. I'm going to spoil the 2 twists in the movie right now. I haven't spoiled them yet. It's been out for weeks. Spoilers, spoilers, spoilers. So, the adults are behind the killings. I kind of saw that coming pretty early on. I was like, oh, I think the way that they're isolated from the children so much, I think the adults are behind the killings. We very rarely see them. I kind of picked that up. But I wasn't disappointed that I picked it up. I was like, all right, cool. Like, it's very rare I pick a twist, so points to me. But the twist I didn't see coming was the multiple friendos. When there's like, was that in the book?
No. I don't. Oh, hang on. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. That was in the book. And the adults doing the killing.
Yes.
That was in the book.
So the adults doing the killing, I kind of picked up pretty quickly. But there's a moment like with like a rave in a barn or whatever, and Frendo comes out and kills someone or whatever, and it's kind of played for laughs because I don't believe it's real. And then like there's a pause, and then like 5 more Frendos come out. That blew my mind. I hadn't read the book. I was like, what a cool twist! Like this is amazing. I love this. I was like, I wonder what the reason is. Like, what is it? And then that's when I started to figure out that it was the adults, because I was like, oh, because I first thought it was just going to be like a supernatural thing. And then when they started kind of working together and talking, I'm like, oh, it's totally the grown-ups. The grown-ups are the clowns and stuff like that. But no, it's fun. Like, you know, we need more fun slashers. You know, it's kind of a genre that doesn't get as much attention these days because I think, you know, people are worried about it being too basic, but I like basic slashers.
Final Destination was fun.
I enjoyed Final Destination. I had some issues with it, but mostly I really, really liked it. My issues with it was I felt like their kills weren't super spectacular. I think they kind of like, there's a couple. Obviously, the first one, like is great. And then
the tattoo parlor. That was the best one.
I liked the tattoo parlor, and yes. I liked the jump scare with the old woman early on. It was like the first family member to.
Yes.
Yeah, that one I really liked, and the rest were fine. But like the MRI machine one, I kind of spoilers. This movie's just come out as well. I kind of saw coming. I knew that was going to happen. Um, but I think they sacrificed kind of crazy kills for a stronger storyline, and I really liked that as well. I thought the family story kind of going into the mythology a lot more. I really enjoyed that. I think the best kill was spoiled in the trailer, which is of course the lawnmower one.
Yes.
That was pretty fun. Um, all right, we're talking about movies, so we should make the jump over. You talk about movies quite a bit on your page.
Mm-hmm.
Have you always been a movie fan, a lifelong movie fan? Is it something you discovered later? Um,
Nah, loved movies since childhood, since I was able to watch TV and
nice,
understand. Yeah.
very cool. And now you're a little bit older than me, so were you a video store kid? Was that
Yes.
yes?
Video easy.
Oh,
Yes.
I worked at two video
On a
easies.
Friday night.
Yes. I'm always fascinated by that because, like, as I get older, the people I speak to tend to be born after video stores. So whenever I get to speak to someone who remembers that, um, I'm always very excited. So you were a Video Easy.
Yes.
I was a Video Easy kid as well. I worked at two different Video Easy stores. That were my
And
first two.
Blockbuster. Don't forget Blockbuster.
I didn't go to Blockbuster as much. I don't know why. Well, actually, when I first started going to
Hmm.
Video Easy, it wasn't Video Easy. It was Movie Land.
Oh,
I don't know if you remember Movie Land.
no.
Oh my god, they're back. They've got like someone bought the rights to the brand, and now they're doing like retro Movie Land merch. It's very cool. But yeah, it's one with like the two pink triangles. Um,
I probably will know the logo if I saw it.
Yeah. Well, anyway, they're back. I'm very excited about it. They've got a podcast and everything.
Wow.
I haven't listened to it because I've got to promote my own stuff.
Hmm.
Um, okay, so video store kid, and were you also a lifelong horror fan, or did that come later?
I kind of liked horror, but was a little bit too scared to watch things
Mhm.
by myself. It was always with like a family member or a sister or a brother. Um, but these days, nothing really scares me now.
Yeah. I can 100% relate. So, do you remember? Was it when you say you were too scared to watch it? Was it the cover art? Because I know for me as a kid, that was a big thing. I love to peek in the horror section, but I was too scared to go in the horror section.
Yep, cover art, and then all the blood that you see when the video's playing,
Yeah.
and the music,
Mm.
and the jump scares.
Yeah,
When you're
yeah,
a little kid, man, you don't know what that is all about.
yeah. I every now and then jump scares will get me. It's pretty rare, like because you can kind of tell when they're coming. Once you've watched as many movies
Hmm.
as we have, you can kind of tell when they're coming.
Hmm.
But I did get caught recently. I went and saw it Until Dawn with a buddy of mine, and we both got caught by the dumbest jump scare. And I don't mind. I just laugh at myself. I'm like, yep, they got me. My buddy looked so ashamed for getting caught by a jump scare. Um,
Mate, you should see me. I actually scream
I
in a
do.
jump scare. Yeah, because especially if I don't know that it's coming,
Yeah.
I like have popcorn like chucked everywhere.
I don't think I've ever known someone to scream in a horror film. That sounds like a lot of fun.
Final Destination. I did it in that movie because there was barely any people in the cinema at the time.
Mm.
Yeah.
Nice, very very cool. Do you remember? Because you said that you were too scared to watch horror without family members. Do you remember
Mm.
what the first horror film was that you watched?
Exorcist.
Fascinating. How old were you?
10.
Insane. That's that's crazy.
Mm-hmm. Yep,
Um,
and it traumatized me.
yeah, it would. It's still scary. It's
Mm-hmm.
still scary.
Yep. Yep. I can't even watch it. I haven't even seen The Exorcist again. Like I've only watched it once when I was
Mm.
10, and then I haven't watched it since.
You could probably handle it now, but it is still scary. Like it's done in
Ugh.
such a good way that I think it does have kind of this timeless feel to it.
Mm.
But it's also got a really good balance because it's also like a detective drama, which because you've read the book, so it's also like a
Ugh.
detective story.
The detective part was so boring in the book.
It's good. It's good in the movie. I like it in the movie, and it's a nice
Yeah.
break from all the horrifying stuff. So, did you ever go and watch any of the sequels, or were you just like, nah, Exorcist is
Mm, I think I watched the prequel, like
okay?
when in the desert, when they find the cat, when they bury. like they go into the expedition and they
Mm,
find like, the hieroglyphics and stuff on the wall.
mm.
And there was a priest, I think, but the prequel didn't really do much. It wasn't scary for me.
Was that the beginning? Is that the one? It was like from
Yes. Yes.
2004. I
Yes.
remember borrowing it from the video store that I worked at, and I started watching it. I think I fell asleep, and that's not because it was boring. I just worked really late nights back then, and I just never put it back on. So, and now you can't get it anymore. It's nowhere in Australia.
Mm.
Like you cannot get
No.
it. Um,
No.
did you go and watch any of the other ones, or was like you just no, not your jam? They're pretty weird. The sequels are there's a shocking lack of exorcisms in the following Exorcist movies.
Yes, and I think you talked about that in your podcast that was like over 3 hours long with Roy. I think you were the special guest. Do you remember? And it
Yes,
was
yes,
hosted
I
by an
was on.
American guy.
Yes, I was on his podcast, and we talked about
Yeah.
Exorcist 3. Yeah,
Yes.
it was it 3 hours long. Yeah, I was up.
Almost.
I think I was up till 2 in the morning. I was in this room. I'm in my garage right now because I've turned it into a cinema. Did I not? I didn't show you before we started recording. Yeah,
No.
that's all movies behind me. So those are all movies. And then there's my projector up there. And then I'm in a one of two recliners. There's my other recliner. I'm sure this is great for the audio. People are like, oh, please tell us more. And then if I fling it all the way around, there's the screen.
Wow.
Yeah. So
Okay, non-movie related.
go for
Can
it.
I ask,
Yes.
when you are in your little basement to watch from your projector,
Yes.
do you watch any sports at all?
I'm not a sports guy. I don't like. I used to watch sports when I lived at home, and I was kind of into the AFL growing up. I played soccer as a teenager and stuff like that.
Mm,
But
mm.
I just doesn't do anything for me. Like, I don't begrudge anyone who loves sport. I'm like, hey, you love it. It's that I'm never going to yuck your yum. It's just not my thing. I'd just rather watch a story. Like, so,
Yeah. Because
but I
I'm just about to say NFL on the big screen on a projector. Amazing for Super Bowl days. Do you know what I mean?
you probably could do it. It's got because I've got
All
a
right,
Chrome.
we're holding Super Bowl next season at your house.
I'm only watching the Super Bowl for the movie trailers.
Oh,
Yeah, I've got a Chromecast in there. Well, not at the moment, but I can run one through there, so I can do streaming. I prefer physical media, obviously, with all my Blu-rays, and I can run like video games through it as well. But I've only really used it for movies thus far. But yeah, anyway, that's my garage slash home theater.
amazing.
It is still a garage. If you look over there, there's all the junk. There you go, garage junk. But this side has a red carpet and movies.
Yes, yes, fantastic.
Excellent. Now, so you've been a movie fan forever. You're a video store kid, which I love. Big fan of that.
Mm-hmm.
First horror film is The Exorcist. Does the movie watching continue through high school years? Because I feel like, I feel like that's such a formative part because that's when you get to choose what you're watching. So, what kind of movie watcher do you become? Are you watching everything that comes out? Is it exclusively horror? Is it whatever your friends want to watch?
I know that when I was a teenager in high school, I liked Valentine, which was a slasher.
I remember Valentine.
Yes. Yes.
1999? It's
Yes.
the David Boreanaz,
Yes.
directed by Jamie Blanks, who's an Australian.
Yep.
And he lives out. I don't know if he lives out there, but I used to work at JB Hi-Fi, and his cousin. I worked with his cousin, and he would come into the shop, and I got to meet him and stuff like that. No, not well enough to like to know him, but I was like, oh hey,
Yeah.
but yeah, so Jamie Blanks, and he's also worked on some really wonderful documentaries in the last 10 years. He did, he worked on That's Not Hollywood. Oh, sorry, Not Quite Hollywood. If you've ever seen that one, Machete Maidens Unleashed, Electric Boogaloo, which was about the history of canon films. They're really wonderful documentaries.
I've watched Electric Boogaloo. That's probably the only one I watched. Yes. Yes.
So if you've seen that one, the other two documentaries are very much in that style, and they're so much fun.
Okay.
Yeah, Not Quite Hollywood is basically about the Australian exploitation film scene in the 70s and 80s. And Machete Maidens is all about the different films they shot in the Philippines in the 80s. because you were born in the Philippines, so that's a
Yes.
nice little connector. Yeah,
Yes.
they used to, for all these kind of low budget B grade like exploitation films that they couldn't get permits for in America, they'd fly to the jungle in the Philippines and shoot
Mm-hmm.
these horrible like violent sex cult movies in the jungle
Mm-hmm.
and do that.
Yep.
So it's all about that. Um, so yeah,
Interesting.
I don't know how I got onto that, but we talked we talked about it. For those who are wondering, Honey and I have never really spoken face to face before now, and we spoke for almost half an hour before recording. Like we just fell into conversation. Here there are tangents. I just realized what time it was.
I know.
So we should probably get stuck into your. I was interested in your film watching habits. Valentine, I haven't seen in a long time.
Mm.
But so yeah, you were a horror fan pretty much forever, from what it sounds like. Well, since
Yes.
you were terrified by The Exorcist. Um, cool. Well, we should jump into your list, I guess. I've given you the impossible task
Okay.
of 5 favorite movies, and you told me no,
Mm-hmm.
that's too hard. Which is fair. Did you have some honorable mentions you wanted to talk about first before we hit your top 5?
Well,
Or do you want to do the top 5 and then bring up other ones as well?
look, I'm gonna lump these movies into one because
Okay.
they're part of that Conjuring, The Nun, Annabelle
Okay.
universe. So obviously, Conjuring, Annabelle, The Nun, they're pretty much some of the really great horror movies that I've enjoyed.
So is
Um,
this where we're putting it number 5, kind of just the Conjuring universe?
it's a I don't know where it sits in top 5, but it's not number 1. That's
Sure.
for sure. Um, yeah, let's put it at number 5.
That's okay.
The
Cool.
Conjuring. Yeah. And then Halloween.
Oh,
The whole
before
franchise.
we go to Halloween,
Okay.
we'll go through each. We'll go through
Okay.
each one. No, that's I didn't tell you the rules.
Yeah.
So Conjuring universe, hard agree. I love this franchise. Even the weaker films I think are pretty fun. So were
Yep.
you a fan from day one with the Conjuring? Did you jump into it because of James Wan and his previous work, or how did you kind of discover the Conjuring?
I didn't know about James Wan's previous work. So
Interesting.
So I only jumped into The Conjuring because I was obsessed with movies about exorcisms, like
Hmm.
devil possession and all that sort of stuff.
Hmm.
And I do like the main actress, and the lead actor. I
Oh,
forgot the guy's name.
Patrick Wilson and Vera
Patrick
Farmiga.
Wilson. Yes, my favorites.
He
Favorite.
I've talked about him a few times on the show. I think he's one of the most underrated actors working today.
Mm-hmm.
And I had Nadia Robertson on a few months ago. She's an actress and she does a lot of background work. And she was in the most Insidious, The Red Door. She was in that.
Yes, I love
And she got to work with Patrick Wilson. And I was saying to her, I was like, this might sound strange because we've just met. But Patrick Wilson playing Elvis music in Conjuring 2, maybe one of the sexiest things I've ever seen. Like it shouldn't be, but it really works for me for some reason. And I say that as a married man in a straight relationship.
Yep.
Excellent. So what is it about? Is it just simply the demon possession angle of it? Is it because it's
Based
tied
on
in
a true story.
the Amityville horror?
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's all like, because The Conjuring, as far as I know, from what I've seen, it says that some of the stories are based on a true story, like based on actual accounts. And I generally tend to resonate with horror movies that are more true, as opposed to like made up or this could happen and things like that, which leads me to Amityville, which is another favorite of mine.
We'll get to Amityville. I want to jump back. This leads me into a question I don't really ask very often, but you had so much conviction when you talked about it. You said it's based on a true story. You've talked about liking demon possession. Do you believe in that sort of thing? Is that something? Are you like? Do you kind of delve into like the spiritual side of things? Do you believe in possession and demons, stuff like that? Is that something that's, or is it more just the fact that it's listed as true? You like the idea of that?
No, because back in the day in the Philippines, with the whole culture, like there's certain parts of the Philippines, especially in the provinces, where they have so many stories, like real life stories of people who get possessed by the demon, by a devil. And growing up, I always used to hear stories from my grandparents
Okay.
about certain things that occur in certain parts of Philippines.
Okay.
Like there's a thing called an aswang. If you want to look it up afterwards, an aswang is some sort of devil whose body gets separated from its. So it's got two parts. Its body gets separated from its top half. And the only way you're going to kill it is pour a lot of salt on it.
Interesting. I
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
Um,
So,
See, that's so interesting to me. Like I made the joke before we started, where I'm so white. I only have a white blood cell count. I just got the most boring heritage, and that's no disrespect to my family. I love my family, but I said like we have no interesting culture. And then like you're like, well, where I grew up, there were demons who were split in half, and you use salt on them. Like man, like that's so much cooler than
yes.
like anything my parents ever told me. Um, yeah, we don't really have that. Cool. Okay, very interesting. And so, Conjuring obviously sounds like of the this franchise. That's your favorite one, or is there another film in the?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Yep.
No, The
Oh.
Conjuring's the favorite
Hmm.
out of all of them. And then obviously The Nun ties in with it in a way.
Hmm.
But I find that as The Nun progresses, like The Nun, the first one was the best,
Hmm.
and then the second and the third just started to taper off a little bit.
Mm.
Wasn't as scary as the first original The Nun.
I think the tough thing with the Nun, because I watched them for the first time last year before I went
Mm.
away. I kind of was like, I watched the third Conjuring film, and I really enjoyed that. And then I wanted to dive into the rest of the universe, so I just bought them all and just watched them. And I think the Nun visually is so scary. I think it's such a scary character design,
Oh,
and even that actress, like she's not scary. She's very beautiful, but also she is a little bit scary to look at.
she is.
Um, I think that once you kind of see that, it's hard to elevate beyond that, and they rely on a lot of CGI, especially towards the end of the movie. But I do enjoy that, and that actress Tisa Farmiga, who is the
Yes.
younger sister of the woman in
Sister.
Conjuring, I really like her and her performance in that. Um, so yeah, I give them a lot of wiggle room because even though it's not perfect, there's a lot of fun to be had. Do you also
Mm.
go in for the Annabelle movies?
I do like Annabelle. I like the first one.
Hmm.
I haven't seen Annabelle Comes Home because I think I got traumatized by the first Annabelle.
Sure.
Because that
Okay.
one's a true story. Because that's
Yep.
a true story. She's actually kept hidden, locked in a cupboard in London.
She's on
In
tour now. She's on tour. Did you
oh,
seen this thing? They're like bringing her around.
no, no. Dolls scare me. Like that's
My
probably
wife's the
why I
same.
like it.
My wife's the same. We were in Scotland just recently toward like the second half of last year, and we were going around to like just all these different sites, and there's a lot of free museums in the UK, which is great.
Mm,
And there's a
mm.
lot of children's museums. They've got antique toys, and I would always just take photos of creepy dolls and send them to her. I think let me see if I've got one for you. Again, a wonderful visual for the audio podcast, but I'll see if I've got any creepy dolls for you. Because the UK ones, for some reason, are the best creepy dolls. Let me see if I've got a creepy doll. Surely. Listen to the audio silence as I go looking for my creepy. There we go. So this is pretty creepy. So there's that one.
Oh yes, yeah.
But this one's the best one.
Oh yes, no, no. Especially the ones with the eyes that move up and down. I
Yeah.
just feel like sometimes they look at you when you're
Yeah.
not.
It's like the
Yeah.
Mona Lisa. No matter where you are, they're always watching.
Yes, yes,
uh,
exactly.
Awesome, strong start. I really like that franchise. It was one of the. It's a franchise I've actually avoided for a long time. Watched the first one, loved the first one.
Mm.
Watched the second one, thought it was pretty long, but did enjoy it. Really liked the Twisted Man. I thought they were going to do more with that character, and they didn't really do
Yeah,
much.
they didn't.
And then I didn't touch them for a while because I kept hearing how bad the Annabelle movies were. Like everyone was like, "Oh, they suck. Don't worry about them." And that was back when I was still quite pretentious and snobby.
Mm.
And then yeah, in the last year, I was like, you know, I should really give them a go, and I really enjoyed all of them. Creation of the Annabelle creation's quite good as well. But yeah, nice one. So next up, was it the Halloween franchise you mentioned?
Yes. You know how someone some people love the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise.
Hmm.
I was never really into the Nightmare on Elm Street. I like the first one with Johnny Depp,
Yep.
but aside from that, I just didn't like it. The
Okay.
rest, I was
Is
a
it because
huge
they
Jamie
get?
Lee Curtis.
Is it because they
Jamie
get
Lee Curtis.
silly? Is that why you don't like them?
Yes,
Okay.
they do get silly. And then towards the end, Freddy versus Jason.
Oh, I love
Like,
Freddy vs. Jason, but I think that's showing our generation difference because you're a little bit
yeah,
older than me. Like that came out when I was 14, and I'd never seen a Freddy or a Jason film, but I'm like, this looks amazing. It's so cool. Like it's two monsters fighting. Like I was a teenage boy. It was exactly my type of thing. That
yeah.
was the first of either of the movies I saw. The first Freddy or Jason film I saw was Freddy vs. Jason,
Mm.
and I still really enjoy it. But I totally get why you wouldn't like it. Um, I think it's just we have different sensibilities there. Because my favorite Nightmare on Elm Street film is Dream Warriors. I love the third one so much. The idea that you can control what you do in your dreams. So I
Mm.
like that. But I totally get you liking the darker, more serious one. But anyway, sorry, Halloween. So you like Jamie Lee Curtis? Hard agree. She's great. And you like, is it everything in the franchise? Do you pick and choose with the movies? Do you
No,
go in?
I've seen them from one, two, three, all right up until the very last one where Jamie Lee Curtis is actually older
Yep.
and Michael's out. Do you know what I mean? Like he's out
Living
of
under a
prison.
bridge and stuff.
Yeah, like a troll.
The one that people didn't like, but I loved.
I can't fault them. All
Yeah.
the Halloween franchises are pretty good. But if they didn't continue Jamie Lee Curtis and they found someone else to replace her, I don't think I would have watched it. Because
Mm.
she's your hard ass final girl. If
Yeah.
you ever have a hard ass final girl, she's your
Well,
final girl.
she's arguably. Oh, actually, I was gonna say she's the first, but you've got Marilyn Burns in Texas Chainsaw Massacre, and you got Black Christmas, and you've got, if you want to count Psycho, you've got a final girl there as well. But she's one of the first for sure. Definitely, I would say the most enduring and famous. Like definitely, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
She's a her, yeah. So you like the ones without Jamie Lee Curtis? You like Curse of Michael Myers and Return of Michael Myers and all those as well, or is it just the
Nah,
no?
just the Jamie Lee Curtis Halloween ones.
What about the Rob Zombie ones? How do you feel about those ones?
I don't think I've seen any of them.
Really interesting,
Yes.
because he remade it in 2007 to
Oh,
yeah. It was the one where they give you Michael's origin story and they kind of see him with the psychiatrist and stuff like that.
yes. Is that Jamie Lee Curtis as well?
No,
See? Has Rob Zombie directed anyone with Jamie Lee Curtis in it?
no, he did the one that most people liked the first one he did, which was the 2007 one, and that was with Scout Taylor Compton and Danielle Harris. So Danielle Harris, who played the little girl in the Halloween 4 and 5, she came back and played Annie Brackett in the remake. And then he did a second one, which was kind of universally hated. A lot of people didn't like it. Michael Myers didn't wear the mask for most of the film. He talks or grunts in the movie, which people didn't really like.
Mm,
And this, I won't spoil it for you because I honestly do think it's worth watching because I rewatched it
okay.
recently and I have a newfound love for it. I think it's really
Okay.
underrated. But I totally understand why people don't like it. But it's less a slasher film and more a study of trauma and what it means to kind of work through and recover from trauma after being attacked by someone like Michael Myers.
Mm,
And it's really quite fascinating. But he did it kind of on purpose, like because the studio were like, we're doing a sequel whether you like it or not, and we're
mm.
taking your characters. So he was like, well, I guess I'll make a sequel. And he deliberately apparently tried to make a movie that people would hate. So that's kind of funny to me. Um,
Yes, that is funny.
so you like
Yeah.
the most recent ones, the Halloween Kills and Halloween Ends. You dug
Yes.
those ones? Yeah,
Yes, because they're all on Netflix and I binged it all in
yeah.
one weekend.
I really like them as well. I think they're really, because a lot of people didn't like Kills and a lot of people really didn't like Ends. But I've talked about it a lot, so I won't go into it again. But I think they're doing something really interesting with that franchise and elevating in a way that we haven't really seen before. And I think those films will stand the test of time. I think in
Oh,
like
they will.
10, 15 years, I think people are going to have a new appreciation for them.
Yep.
Um,
Because
nice.
Halloween, the original one, like the one that started the whole Jamie Lee Curtis thing,
Mm,
that still resonates with me right up until today. Like I
yeah.
see snippets and shorts, and I'm just like, I still remember that movie like it was yesterday.
Is
Do you
that
know what
one
I
you
mean?
is that one you saw as a kid?
No, I saw Halloween more as a teenager,
Oh yeah,
like when I
that's
was
what I
in
meant.
high
Yeah,
school.
sorry. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, nice
as a
one.
kid, I was like
Yeah.
9.
No, we know it. Well, after The Exorcist, nothing
Yes,
was scary.
no, no, no.
And is the first one still your favorite? Do you think?
The first one would have to top everything.
Hmm.
And then as the franchise went on, they just, you know how some franchises, as they go on, they get worse or like there's something missing.
Yeah.
But I found the franchise actually got, I wouldn't say better, I'd say it still kept me interested.
I
Like,
think it's a pretty consistent franchise. I think,
yes.
especially when you've got Jamie Lee Curtis in them, I think
Mm-hmm.
I think that's quite consistent. But I like three. I know people don't like three. Three is the one without Michael Myers. It's the only one where he's not in it. And it's about the killer masks. I don't know if you remember that.
Mm,
But I
yes.
quite enjoy that one just for being something different. Um, I think they've all got they've all got their own kind of like quirks that make them quite enjoyable. So I think it's a pretty consistent franchise for the most part. But yeah, I
Yep.
know what you mean for sure. Um, awesome. I'm liking this list. There's some really fun movies in here.
Okay.
What is next up? What do you want to talk about next?
Um, so I'm gonna jump the gun and say
Yeah.
number one,
Okay.
Dracula.
Wait.
Dracula, Gary Oldman,
Okay.
Gary Oldman, Winona Ryder, who's the
Keanu
other one?
Reeves.
Keanu Reeves. Best Dracula ever. Like, can't compare it.
Nice. I haven't watched this movie in a little while. I think the last time I watched it was probably 10, 15 years ago. It's interesting you bring it up because this morning I watched Dracula, but I watched the 1930s one. I'd never seen it before. I just bought the classic Monsters box sets. So I've never seen any of those old
Mm.
black and white ones. So I'm like, I'm going to watch these. So when you said Dracula, I'm like, oh, I just watched it today. But you're talking about the 90s one.
Yes.
Um, is that the one with the with the weird like werewolf sex scene? Is that the one?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So
Yes.
excited.
No, when I first watched Dracula and I saw that weird werewolf sex scene with the cousin Lucy, she has a dream and she goes out into the garden and then the wolf like attacks her.
Mm.
I think I was like 15 when I first watched that. And I was like, oh, this is interesting.
I was going to say,
And
please tell me this was the erotic awakening of a young woman.
no, I was a very late bloomer actually. I get
I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to kick
this,
down that door.
get this. My first full on relationship was when I was 24, 25.
Oh,
I
there you
guess I
go.
wasn't really interested in going out or dating anyone when I was in my teens.
There you
I
go.
let my sisters do that. They were younger than me. They had boyfriends way before I did. So it's like,
You were waiting
yeah.
for you were waiting for a creature of the night. You're like vampires, masked killers, werewolves. That's
No, but I am obsessed with being a vampire. I don't know if I've told you that, but it's on my bookstagram. I love, like, if I could be a supernatural character out of any horror book, I'd be a vampire because I get to live forever and
it.
drink people's blood.
It ties
I
into
don't
my
know
theory that you are immortal. I made that. We're talking the other day about something. I was like, "What's your secret to eternal youth?"
Oh, yes, yes.
Because you look younger than me, uh, like, and
No,
not even a
no,
little bit, like a lot.
no. If you shave that beard, you'd look 12.
That's true. I need like this. It's my ID card. Is this beard?
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Mm-hmm.
I can't.
Yeah.
I've put on so much weight in the last month. Yeah, I cannot shave my beard. I'll look like a bowl of pudding. I need to just once I trim down, maybe I can shave it back. So Dracula. Sorry, we got. I don't know what
We all
that
get
was.
sidetracked.
I want to just remind the audience this is the first time we've met. Um, Um,
There's no barriers, mate. No barriers whatsoever.
so Gary Oldman, you mentioned Gary Oldman up front. So is it
Mm,
his performance as Dracula that really draws you to it?
yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes.
And have you always been a Gary Oldman fan, or is it specifically just Dracula?
Um, no, I like Gary Oldman. I can't really remember his other movie.
Uh,
Dracula was always the one that I remember Gary Oldman from the most.
it's so funny because he's in so. I would say he's played so many really famous characters.
Mm.
Like
I
He was Sid Vicious in Sid and Nancy.
yes,
He was in Harry
yes, I
Potter,
saw
which
Sid Nancy. I
yeah,
saw that. That was such a good move. A mockumentary. Is it mockumentary?
it's like a biopic.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't watched it in a while. I've got it on my shelf somewhere, but I haven't watched it in a long time. But yeah, he's great in that. He's in obviously the Harry Potter franchise. He
Hmm.
was
Not a fan.
yeah. Well, I was gonna say you would have been in your mid to late teens when those books came out.
Mm.
Where I was a little boy, so I was the right age. I think I was like 10 when I started reading those books. And he was in like the Batman movies as well, with the
Yes.
Chris Nolan ones. So, um, yeah, very cool. And Anthony Hopkins, is he in it? Does he play Van Helsing? Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah.
He plays the older gentleman.
I
Yes.
um I remember I watched it. I must have watched it for the first time in university. I think maybe I've only seen it once now that I think about it, which feels like a crime. So I've got to go back and watch it. But I remember watching it at university and finding it very strange and not really getting it. Um,
Mm.
but I remember my earliest memory is seeing the VHS in my house. I guess my parents had rented it, and I was so shocked because my parents had never expressed any interest in horror. And yet they had the Dracula VHS. And I don't know if you remember the poster art, but it's got like the carvings of demons and monsters.
Yes.
Like, and I
In
found that
grey.
terrifying. I was like, why is this
Yes.
in our house? Why is Satan's slave in my house? And like, just, not the movie Satan's Slave for people who are into exploitation, but, and just terrified that I had to turn the VHS around because on top of it was in our TV cabinet, and we had like one of those big box TVs with a big
Yes.
VCR, and I had to turn it around so you could see like the clamshell part because the art was too scary for me. So
I can understand. It's gargoyles. It's pictures
yeah,
of gargoyles.
if
Do you know
anyone
what
who
I mean?
hasn't seen it or doesn't want to, just Google Bram Stoker's Dracula poster. It's you'll get it. You'll be like, oh, I understand why this 7-year-old was wetting his pants because it's really creepy. So that's your number one. So would you say that's your favorite film of all
Has
time?
to be my favorite. And then uh, going on a tangent, I
Yeah.
watched Nosferatu this year.
Okay.
I liked it, but I'm like, it's no Dracula. Like, there's little snippets of like, mm, Dracula thrown in, but it's just not like the classic. Do you know what I mean?
It's very dark. And when I say dark, I mean visually. I don't mean the subject matter.
Mm,
Um, I re- I understand. I think of that director, Robert Eggers. I think of his films. It's the most heavily critiqued one.
mm.
People seem to be very divided by it. Visually, I think it's hard to deny. I think incredibly, like it looks incredible visually.
Cinematography is amazing.
Yeah,
Like,
but
I
I think
watched it by myself.
it's very divisive. Yeah, I went and saw it by myself as well.
Mm,
I'd flown home. We got back from the UK in January.
mm.
I was sick that weekend. I came back, but on the Sunday night, I felt well enough to go to the movies, and I went and saw Nosferatu. And I shouldn't have. I was way too tired and still recovering. Um, and like I was definitely like too tired for it and getting sleepy. But I really enjoyed it. And Lily Rose Depp is wonderful in it. She's so
Oh, she's amazing.
mm,
She portrays it so well. Now, I was going to ask you a question, but I guess
yeah.
you were too sleepy to pay attention.
Yes.
Um, there, so everyone on my socials was talking about this particular scene in Nosferatu, where we actually see a 300-year-old Dracula's like private bits, and I was
Yes.
like watching the whole movie, and I'm like, where was it?
Oh yeah, I saw
Was that,
that. Oh
was
no,
it a joke?
I stayed awake for that, honey. Um,
Like, was it a joke? Were they joking and saying, look, he's a 300-year-old vampire. Look out for it because you'll miss it. I'm like, I looked for it and
yeah.
I couldn't find it. What
Let's just
part was
say
it?
he wasn't the only thing that rose out of that coffin. No, I did. No, I did see it. But it's kind of in the shadows. It's not like an
Oh,
unfiltered like right in your face. It's not like
oh,
Bruno. I don't know if you've ever seen Bruno, but like
yes.
that scene. It's not like that. Like, just Nosferatu like or Count Orlok dancing to some German
Yes.
techno. Um, Although I definitely would have watched that. No, it's if I remember, it's been a minute since I've watched it, and that was maybe the 10th or 15th movie I watched for the year. I'm about to watch movie 200 this week, so I
Oh,
yeah, I've watched a lot of movies. But no, I remember seeing it, but I was just like, oh yeah, there it is. It's a dick. Like
yeah, but like, I'm like, where is it? Like, where? What
in
scene?
the normal spot where most of them are. Um,
No.
I know. I it just
Yes.
it was such the opportunity was there. I was like, I have to jump on this. The joke, not the other thing.
Yes.
Um, um, I can't remember when it was. It was pretty early on. I think it's like one of the first nights that Nicholas Holt or whatever his character's name is staying in the castle. Like I think he's like exploring and all like gets out of the coffin and he's just standing there. It's not like gratuitous. It's just like
Oh.
it's like this old dude woke up out of his bed naked, basically.
Oh, okay. Damn.
Yeah,
Yeah. All right.
yeah. It
Cool.
was look. It wasn't sexy. That's what you're
Oh,
saying.
okay. No, because I thought right at the right at the end, you know, when the sun came up and Lily
Yes.
was with Nosferatu,
Mm.
and he shriveled up. That's
Mm.
where I thought it was, and I'm like, oh, it's all shriveled up. Oh, was that the
Yeah.
scene?
No, it was in a much earlier scene in the dark and stuff like that.
Okay.
Yeah. So I guess watch it again and keep an eye out for it. Listeners, if you know the time code, please send Honey so she can scan through.
Because I don't really want to watch the whole movie again just
Yeah,
to
it's
see
a
that
long
part.
movie. Like it's a
Yes,
long movie, and if you're looking for just one particular scene, time codes would be helpful, guys. So
yes,
get on it.
yes.
You can
Fantastic.
message Honey on Instagram. No,
No.
don't do that. That is that is opening the door to trouble. Um,
Okay.
I'm glad these vampire genital jokes are working. This is they're pretty divisive. Um,
Yes.
I didn't know this was going to happen, but
Oh, me neither. Me neither. Oh,
um,
gee.
okay. So we've done Conjuring, we've done Halloween, then we jumped up to Dracula. What else you got in your list?
Um, okay. Number 4, because obviously number 5 was The Conjuring, the universe.
Where was Halloween?
Oh, Halloween was 2.
Oh, okay. No worries at all.
Yes. Yes. Halloween was 2. Um, so now we're going to number 4. I'd have
Mm.
to say, have you watched Late Night with the Devil?
Oh my god, I love that movie.
Yes. So I'm tossing up between it being number 4 or it being number 3
Okay.
because I loved it because it was something that was never done before. Like
Yes.
bringing a girl onto a show and then letting her talk, letting the devil talk
Mm.
to the girl. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it just was a different sort of environment and I
It
kind of like that.
it also made found footage interesting.
Yes,
Because
correct.
I'm not the world's biggest fan of found footage films. There are a couple that I have liked. So like Wreck, the Spanish film Wreck, I quite enjoyed that series. The Hell House films I quite enjoy as well.
Yes, by
Um,
LLC.
yeah, yeah.
Yes,
But
yes.
most found footage I find, and this is no disrespect to the people who make those, but I feel like horror is the type of film everyone thinks they can make because it's cheap. And if you really want to make a cheap horror film, you do a found footage one. But people forget that it's more than just walking around with the camera. You got to put some
Mm,
stuff in there as well. But those films I think were really good. But Late Night with the Devil, I was blown away. I thought it was so
totally.
shot in Melbourne, which is really fun as well in
Mm,
Docklands,
yes,
um, which was exciting as well. But and David DeSmulchen, who plays the lead, he's so charismatic. I remember after watching, I was like,
very.
why? Like, this guy needs to be the lead of more movies. Like he's in a lot of films as a background guy or an extra, but put him in like a leading role. He's so charming. Um, yeah, I saw that in theaters. It would have been about this time last year, maybe. Oh, no, earlier because we're in June now. Jesus Christ, um,
Yep.
we're halfway through the year. Um, Was it just for that interview part alone? What was it about the film that you really enjoyed?
Um, Look, I saw it on Netflix, read the synopsis, and I was like, "Ooh, this could be interesting."
Mm.
So I put it on my to be watched. Sat down one weekend, no books, no nothing, played it, and I was like, literally amazed. Like from
Yeah.
the opening scene right up until the very end, because the way that they introduced it, um, this is found footage, blah 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 blah
Mm.
blah, and this is what happened that one particular night, blah blah
Yeah,
blah blah blah.
yeah, yeah.
And then yeah, it just probably has to be my favorite top 5 this year.
Nice.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, very cool. Because I was gonna say, like, for your list is pretty. Like, it's not super old. Like the Conjuring stuff's in the last 10 years, but I would say
Mm.
you've got some classics on there, like Dracula going back to the '90s, Halloween back to the '70s, which is generally what happens when people in their list. They go to what the stuff they watched when they were younger.
Mm-hmm.
But
And
to
when I'm
some,
older, don't forget,
I,
I'm a 70s child.
I, I know I didn't say anything, but for those who watch the clips, like, pause this clip, look at Honey, and be as flabbergasted as I am that she's a '70s child. Like, that's insane to me. Like, and before I said you look younger than me, I'm not even kidding. Like, and you don't need a beard to cover your pudding face like me. Like, you just look young.
Mate, I go to the gym. I eat sweets. I eat junk. I eat so many bad stuff. That's why I've
Mm.
got to go. Otherwise, you know.
Yeah, you got that commitment that I used to go to the gym. But in the lead up to getting married, I lost like 15 kilos. I was trim.
Well done.
Yeah, I put it all back on. So don't worry about
Yeah,
that.
but you're happy. That's happy eating. Do you
That's
know what I
true.
mean?
That's true. My
You know what
heart
I
will
mean?
remember that as it
Yes.
struggles to pump the blood through my my rotted veins. Um, I love Late Night with the Devil. I think it's a really good pick. I
Mm,
think it's a film that a lot of people saw, which was good, but I think it could get more attention still. What were your thoughts on the ending? Because I know that was quite divisive for people. The ending,
loved
obviously,
it.
me too.
Loved it.
Me too.
Loved it.
It's insane. It goes absolutely bonkers, and I think a film like
Mm-hmm.
that deserves to. I love that. I love, is it like the worms and the guts and stuff like that, or under the skin? It's been a minute since I watched it. Where, like, during the possession scene, there's like a hypnotism.
Oh, yes. And then all these people in the crowd and they're doing all
Yes,
these weird things. Ugh,
love it. So good. And I don't really
I loved it.
like. It's not that I don't like possession films, but I feel like during my teenage and especially my 20s, every horror film was either found footage or possession. It was just like every film, like it was like
Mm-hmm.
Paranormal Activity,
Mm-hmm.
like The Last Exorcism, Exorcism of Emily Rose, which I just watched for the first time the other day, Exorcism of Emily Rose, and I can't believe how amazing it is. Like, I
Oh,
love that movie. Um, have you not seen it?
no, it's on Netflix. And
It's on
I don't
Netflix.
know. Yeah, it's on
It's
Netflix, but I'm too scared to watch it.
It's so what I didn't. I haven't filmed my 90-second review for it yet. I need to still do that and put it online.
Yes.
I've been a bit lazy the last couple of days. I got a PlayStation over the weekend, so I've been playing video games
Oh, of
instead.
course.
But it's a court case drama. Like, it's so basically the premise, and this is not a spoiler because it happens in the first 5 seconds, and is based on a true story, based on a true story as well.
Ding.
So a girl uh, is rumored to be possessed by a demon, and they bring a priest in to perform an exorcism, and during the exorcism she dies. She dies as a result of the exorcism, and then the state launches a court case against the priest and wants to basically sue him and put him away for endangering a child for like religious malpractice. um, and then throughout the movie, the court case goes through like all the different events. So there's flashbacks to like when Emily's alive and like when she first thinks she got possessed and the behavior. And it's the whole idea of like, well, it can't be a demon because we're practicing law. So therefore, we're trying to debunk. It's amazing. It's so good.
I'll need to watch that.
It's about 2 hours long. It's a longer one, but I really enjoyed it. I don't always go in for exorcism and possession films because again, there's so many of them. But like that and Late Night with the Devil, like, I think did
Mm,
really wonderful things for the genre. Um,
mm.
so yeah, usually, yeah, you should. I'd be keen to hear your thoughts. I really dug it. I think you'll like it.
Okay. All right. All
Um,
right.
which brings us to our last one. What's the number three of all films? We've gone into a bit of an unusual order, which I'm really digging, or possibly number
Okay.
four because you weren't sure.
Yes. Talk to me.
I am no, absolutely.
No, talk to me. The director is the same director of Bring Her Back.
Yes, I haven't seen
And
Bring Her Back yet. That trailer is
I'm too
really
scared.
terrifying.
I'm too scared to watch it.
It looks really scary.
Yes, yes.
Really scary.
Let's put it this way. I harp on about this author nonstop on my bookstagram. Nick Roberts. If you
Okay.
guys don't know him yet, go follow him. He's an awesome indie horror author. He writes about exorcisms and all this stuff. And his mind is just amazing. So he put a post on his Instagram. He said, "This is a reaction video to Bring Her Back.
Mm,
Guys, you need to watch Bring Her Back
mm,
because it's not Sinners. Don't get me wrong, Sinners is still really good, but this is in a separate genre, all
yeah.
its own. Do you know what I
It
mean?
looks really scary.
I'm
And
too
it's
scared to watch it.
it's
Do you want to
very
go watch with me?
maybe maybe. I I I don't watch trailers too much anymore unless they're in the
Hmm.
theater. I try to avoid them. And when that trailer came on, I felt so unsettled. Um, and most trailers don't do that to me anymore. Like when I do see them, like, and that's not because I'm tough or anything like that. Once you consume so much of a certain genre, you do become a little bit numb to it. Like I think you probably feel
Hmm.
that way as well. Like you don't really get scared by stuff, but it is scary. And Talk to Me, which you've put on your list, is a wonderful movie. It got a lot of hype when it came out, and I waited a little bit before I watched it. And I was like, "There's no way it's as good or as scary as people are saying it is." And it is.
It is.
It is that scene where the brother is banging his head on the table.
Yes, on the table. Oh.
So scary. Like
Mm-hmm.
that's really scary. And then like later when he's trying to harm himself in the bathroom.
Mm-hmm.
That kid, so wonderful. Like what a great performer. Everyone in it's really good. Two YouTube guys of all things. Like they're just two guys who did like comedy videos on YouTube, and now they've made
Oh,
two of the biggest horror films of the decade. Like, um,
wow. They're in Australia, filmed in South Australia, I think it was.
yeah,
Both of them.
yeah. Um, with Talk to Me, I there's a twist, and I won't spoil it for people who haven't seen it because there is a twist. I guessed it 2 seconds before it happened, and I didn't care that I guessed it. I was like, "What a great twist this is!
I
This is
never
so."
guessed it at all.
And now they're doing a sequel. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and originally, I thought Bring Her Back was going to be a sequel because,
Mm-hmm.
okay, I will spoil it a little bit. Spoilers for Talk to Me. It's a couple of years old now. People should have seen it. Our main
Exactly.
character does die. Like the whole time they're grabbing onto this hand to connect with the dead, and she sees the hand thinking like she's going to connect with the dead,
She
but
sees
instead
her mum.
yeah, and she connects with the living instead
Yes.
at the end, which is such a great twist. And I thought Bring Her Back was about trying to bring her back from dying in Talk to Me. I thought it was going to be connected, but it's a whole different thing. Um, it's oh my god, it's so scary.
I know. I know. And I did a review of it on my Instagram as well when I watched it. It was like so scary. I was traumatized by
Yeah,
it.
it's it's nice that there's still really scary stuff out there that
Mm.
isn't just exploitative. Like I know that do you know Spooky Astronaut?
No.
Okay, so there's an Australian YouTuber. I don't know her name. I should do the research, but she's got Instagram as well. But she's more active on YouTube, and all she does is watch the most disturbing horror films ever made. Um,
You need to hook me up because I
yeah,
need to see.
I discovered her while I was in the UK because I was just looking. I just wanted to like watch stuff about really messed up horror films. I don't necessarily want to watch those films; they might be too gnarly, but I just wanted to like hear people talk about them so I could feel a bit more in the know.
Mm.
And I discovered her, and she was Australian. She's out in Perth, I think. Um, and she did this thing called the iceberg of disturbing films. Have you heard of this?
No, you
So,
need to send me the link.
so this thing, the iceberg, it's an internet thing, um, and basically the idea is that like because the whole thing about an iceberg is that when you see it, that's just the top. Like there's so much more underneath. So the iceberg of disturbing films is layers, and they put like this is a disturbing film, but it's the very top of the iceberg, and the deeper you get, the more messed up they are. She did this whole video on it.
Mm.
Um, And I don't want to watch any of that stuff. I don't need to watch, like, I've seen the Human Centipede films, but that's probably as gnarly as I need to go, especially now that I'm a parent. Um, but it's nice that they're still making. My point, there is a point to all of this, is it's really nice they're making horror films that are genuinely scary, that don't rely on, you know, torturing humans beyond recognition, kind of being
Yep.
like shredding babies to pieces, or
Yes.
like that's what they like. I know there's an audience for that, and that's fine, but it's really nice to see that in 2025 we're still making scary films that are just based on cool creative ideas.
Mm-hmm.
I find that really inspiring, even though I'm terrified. I'm very excited for it. Um, honey, we're pretty much done.
Wait,
We've gone.
wait. Can I say one honorable mention,
Yeah, go for
please?
it. Yeah, absolutely, you can. I just saw
Okay.
the time, but no, we can keep going.
All right. Honorable mention, Heretic by Hugh Grant.
Yes. Oh my God. What a
Hugh Grant. Yes.
wonderful film, but really incredible performance.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I love that Hugh Grant has this second career now where he just plays villains. He started in Paddington, and then Paddington 2, sorry, and now he's playing horrible people in Heretic. But yeah, that's a
Mm-hmm.
great call as well. You had a decent balance of some new films. I wasn't expecting so many new movies on your list.
Yes. There are some classics, but
Mm.
people won't be able to like relate.
Oh, that's
Like,
it's not about them, honey. It's about you. Like,
okay. Okay. While we're doing that then,
yeah.
you did ask me on before we did the podcast, you did ask me, we're going to talk about shows that I grew up with. Okay.
Yes.
I'm going to bring this up. We're going to talk about it briefly.
Go.
Okay. Don't
Yes.
laugh. Don't laugh. Monkey Magic.
Oh, I never watched Monkey Magic, but I know what you're talking about. Um, no, like, why would I laugh at that? Like, it's I was a kid. Like, I grew up on the Power Rangers. Like, I would say that's equally, like, at least yours is rooted in cool mythology. Like, mine is just
Yes.
ripping off a
Well,
Japanese toy company.
what about Wonder Years? Surely you watched Wonder Years.
No, I didn't watch Wonder Years. No.
Oh. And just for the record, the guy that plays Paul in Wonder Years did not become Marilyn Manson.
Is
That was the whole.
is that a theory?
Yes, that was the whole thing. That everyone who watched Wonder Years thought, oh, Paul ends up being the guy that becomes Marilyn Manson.
Oh,
And it's
interesting.
not.
I
It's
read
not Marilyn.
I read Marilyn Manson's book a long time ago, and there was no mention of the Wonder Years in that. So, it is interesting. Yeah, no, I never watched the Wonder Years either. I didn't get to really choose what we watched as a kid,
Oh.
so like it was what my parents decided was appropriate. A lot
Okay.
of lot of ABC for kids.
Same. Fraggle Rock, Mr. Squiggle.
Yes,
Sesame
Mr.
Street
Squiggles.
playful.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
And then I was very lucky. I was one of the kids who had Foxtel when I was maybe 8 or 9, maybe 10.
What?
So we had Foxtel as a kid. So then we had access like Cartoon Network and stuff like that. So I'm still a big cartoon guy even now. But yeah,
Same.
yeah. Oh, we've got so much we can talk about. You'll have to come back so we can unpack it all.
Yes. All right, let's unpack it all in part 2.
Excellent. Honey, you've been so much fun. I was not expecting we would talk about vampiric genitals. I didn't think we'd go into any of those corridors, but I'm glad we did. It was a lot of fun.
Yes.
I hope you had fun. I know you were a little bit nervous.
I had so much fun.
And you've been a wonderful guest. I hope everyone digs it as well. Like, I was really looking forward to talking to you. I was really looking forward to just talking about movies in general. Like, I love doing interviews. I love doing the team show, but it's been a while since I've spoken to someone about what they like to watch. So it's been nice for me. Before we get out of here, where can people find you on the gram, as the kids say?
It's Honeys with an S, bookish bit.
Oh, it is Honey's. I thought I read it as Honey's, so I read it wrong.
Yeah.
So there you go. So Honey's Bookish Bits. And you post really, really frequently. You're very active online. So you can see Honey's reviews. You can see her sit in the car with the sun in her eyes, complaining about the inconsistencies of Final Destination. You can see her at 4:30 in the morning hitting the gym. Nice one. Go and support Honey. Clearly, she's so much fun. It's so worth your time. Go check out her Instagram. Go read her recommendations.
Yes, and James, I will hit you up for Bring It Back. If I can't watch it by myself, you're going to have to come with me. And because you live in Melbourne, you should be easy to, come
It's like
hang out with.
there's like an hour's travel between us, but
I
but
know.
maybe like I got to say the problem is that I'm a parent. That's the hardest thing. So
Mm,
we might be able to make something work. We'll figure it out.
okay.
We're definitely closer than good old Roy who introduced us basically. Roy, fly over from America and come
Yes.
watch, bring her back. Excellent. Well, thank you everyone for listening. Hope you dug the show. Next week I think next week will be a team show, and then I don't know who the next interview is. I've got tons of them lined up, but thank you for listening. Go check everything out on Instagram. Buy a t-shirt. I haven't promoted our merch in so long, but buy a t-shirt, or not. I'm not your mum. And as I say on this podcast every week, guys, I was a teenage film snob, but I'm trying to be better. We'll see you next week.
Yay. Bye, everyone. Bye, James.